Hey, this is the antisocial socialite back at it again. Thanks so much for tuning in. Salute to all of the new subscribers. Thank you so much for your time and taking the time out to hit that button. If you have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for, darling? Hit the subscribe button, smash that notification bell, so when I get to running this mouth in this BITCH, sir, you are in the loop. You see the title of this video is, I don't know what the title should be. I wanted to call it Dating in the 21st Century or something like that, but I don't know. It's kind of like my take on dating. If I could if I could control dating, this is what it would look like. That's way too long for a title, but that's kind of what it is. I was just listening to Rebecca Lynn Pope. I was actually going to do this video anyway, and she was saying date like a man, and it kind of pushed me to make this video because there were a number of things she said in that video which I kind of agree with. And one of the things that really touched me was the fact that she said when as a woman you're dating, you should be dating multiple people. Now I remember when I first heard this years, maybe a year or so, a bit more than a year now. It was actually a Christian guy, and he was saying it's not an issue if you date more than one person. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh, what kind of thing is this, Because I didn't understand dating. You see, that's the title. Dating, clearly defined stages, something like this, right? Because there's a difference between meeting somebody, dating, being exclusive, courting. And because we live in a culture where people move way too fast and they overinvest way too soon, they call, falling in love easy kind of thing. It's like they're having these whirlwind relationships. Literally 5 minutes after they meet, they're already in love and they're doing everything together like husband and wife. And it's like, then the relationship breaks down. The woman gets bitter and jaded. The man, the rug is pulled out from under his feet kind of thing. And it's because people are literally just rushing so hard to try and make a situation into a relationship, and if I had a say in how dating should be, and how obviously I want to approach dating in the future and things like that. First thing, one of the things she said that was quite funny, she said, women should always assume a man is sleeping with more than one woman. Everybody has to assume everyone is sleeping with somebody else. It's like you want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but it's kind of like we live in a culture that doesn't really lend to that. So while you are not committed to the person, you also don't have the right to obligate that person to certain things. And I've heard other people say, I wouldn't want to date a woman who's dating more than one man. But if the person is just dating, then I'm inclined to say there's no problem. And the reason why I say that is this. The purpose of going on dates, actual dating, and yes, I support dating, is for you to find out, could I be compatible with this person? You're learning about the person. That's all. You're not exchanging body fluids. You're not exchanging expensive gifts. You're not taking a person on trips. And this is what I wanted to say. Dating is supposed to be cheap and simple. You see, because we are so caught up in, Hollywood and the way they present love to us in the mainstream media, people believe that dating should be extravagant. This is why people don't want to take people out on dates, because they either have expectations that are too high, or, on the other person or for themselves. And it's like, you're not supposed to be trying to buy the person's love during the dating process. You're supposed to be finding out whether you want to be exclusive with this person. That's all. Dates should be cheap. Dates should be inexpensive. Dates should be, reasonable. They shouldn't be like, you know, trips to the Swiss Alps or something, you know, a day trip to Paris on a private jet. It just it just reeks of desperation for a start. And you will never know whether the person is truly there because they want you or because of what you can do for them. So this is one of the reasons why I did the video, you know, black women, if you want to be happy, learn to live humbly. Because having these high expectations, and there's nothing wrong with having high expectations, but you need to have high expectations with the right priorities. You know, if your priority is looks, you could have a very attractive homosexual on your hands. You could have a very attractive player. You could have a very attractive con man or user or fraudster. So looks are important because, you know, at the end of the day, women do value looks as well. But if that's like the top of the list way out there, you are going to end up picking up any random dude because you don't know what his character is like. Dating should be fun. That's one thing she said, which I do agree with. But dating should be fun in the sense, I want to see who you are as a person outside of the bed. Dating shouldn't be sex. Dating shouldn't be sexual acts. It shouldn't be naked pictures or whatever, or, you know, I don't know what else you could really do, sexual acts. Sex should be, dating should be about spending quality time with the person to see whether you like them or not, to go exclusive with them. That's it. That's what dating is for. When the expectations are not so high and when the budget is not so high, it's not a big deal to go on many dates. And if they don't work out, you just, you know, keep it moving. Because at the end of the day, most people we're not going to be compatible with for whatever reason. You may meet somebody, you like them, and it turns out that you have different core values. It turns out that, you know, when you get to spend a bit of time with them, you don't really feel the same. You know, maybe you were more or less attracted and that has changed over time. So it's no big deal to go on a few dates. As long as you keep the dating reasonable. Like, I would set like a £20 limit. Like, so what's that? Nando's? If you're lucky, maybe Nando's, a meal and a drink. I mean, I don't know if you could do a movie with £20 a head. Maybe that's the ticket to go in the cinema and you'll have to sneak your own refreshments in, which I have done before. You know, just depending on when you go and how many stewards are watching you, you know, just go to Burger King beforehand and put the Burger King in your bag because that popcorn and, you know, go to the pound shop or Walmart or wherever it is that you go to and grab a bag of popcorn in a bag, man, and just be like, when you get there, just buy the drink so you don't spill it in the bag. And that's it. Or get some cans and bottles, your own sweets and refreshments. You see, if this was a cultural norm, no one would look at you like you're cheap. But because we have this extravagant culture now, it ruins all of the dating world, because people can just put on an act and a show to get you so wooed and enamored by them that you don't see who the real person is until, you know, the honeymoon phase starts to wear off. It should be a slow, gradual process where you're taking your time to get to know the person. And this is something that I had to learn the hard way. Until a man says to you, I want to be exclusive, you guys are not exclusive. He has to come out of, you know, from his own volition, you know, with his own mouth and say, I want you to be my girl. And even then, I'm not saying that he's not doing things with other women, but he has to articulate to you what he wants. I really care about you. I really like you. This is where I see us going. I would like for us to be exclusive. it wasn't even that I had to learn this the hard way, but I'd been in relationships before where you kind of just meet and you start talking and you start dating, and there's no intentionality. I don't even know if that's a real word, but it's not intentional. There's no where are we going, what are we doing. It's kind of we're coasting. So when I was in a long-term relationship and my partner said to me, but actually what he said to me was, I don't want any other men to touch you. I was like, well, duh. I was like, of course. And he's like, no, I'm serious. I was like, okay. It's like, you know, because when a man really has those feelings for you, he's going to tell you, I don't want any guy coming close to you. And I was like, I'm not looking at any other men. I mean, I wasn't talking to any other guys anyway, you know, but it was like, now I'm on my extra P and Q, because it's like, as I see the look coming, I got a man. You see the person coming close, I got a man. It's like, don't even talk to me. Don't even look at me, you know. And it's important that this is why the Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Now, a lot of scripture, you can maybe say, oh, it works both ways. But this is one of those scriptures that it really just needs to be taken at the literal face value. Because if a man wants a woman, he's going to make it clear that he wants her. So when the man is giving you mixed signals and he's not really making an effort to be exclusive, he's showing you by his actions that's not what he wants from you. It's like women have this bad habit. We have this bad habit of projecting and filling in blanks with the wrong information. Just because a guy is willing to sleep with you or is willing to talk to you on the phone or chat you up a bit and make you feel good, that doesn't mean to say that he's into you like that. But because you want him to like you like that, you project your feelings of romance and love and a connection onto him, and then read more into what he's saying or doing than what it actually is. This is why you have a lot of women out here who are so bitter about love, because they keep getting overinvested in all the wrong types of guys. And it's that and I said this in another video, this is a desperation really to be loved and be in a relationship that's going to cause you to put yourself in a position where you can be heartbroken. So the first stage is dating, and it's supposed to be just relaxed, fun. You're not exclusive. So there's certain things he's not supposed to expect from you and you're not supposed to expect from him. That's just what it is. You're going out, you're going to grab coffee, you go and do a bit of bowling, you maybe catch a movie, you go and have some food. I mean, it's casual, it's light, and it's inexpensive. The next phase is going to be, obviously, as you get closer to the person, you're looking at your options and you're thinking, this person is somebody I could see myself being exclusive with. And then, then you go to being exclusive. And, I'm going to encourage people, obviously, people are going to do what they want to do anyway. But if you are a virgin, stay a virgin. If you are abstaining or celibate, keep it up. Because especially for women, once you tell the man, and you don't walk in with like a sign or a t-shirt, sex is off the table, because it's the prospect of sex that keeps the man coming back. It's the initial desire to sleep with a woman that's going to attract a man to a woman, depending on the situation. If it's a random female, it's sex appeal first. If it's somebody that he's interacted with some time, then it could be other things like personality, because we've all heard of stories where people have been friends for years and all of a sudden they just look at the person differently. Feelings have started to emerge, and it's like, I originally didn't really like you like that, but I'm starting to develop feelings for you like that. that they're two different situations. If we're talking about two random people just meeting, it's sex first. It's sexual first. But once you don't give the man the sex, you will see who he really is, what he's about. And again, the reason why he who finds a wife finds a good thing is because if the man really wants to marry you, he will ask you to be his wife. It's just that simple. Especially in the 21st century, or even before, where you have all these dodgy laws, and it's not really in the man's best interest in a lot of instances to get married. If the guy really wants to marry you and he asks you, that means he wants to marry you. If he's like, here's a ring and here's a date, that man is serious about committing to you. So it's like, instead of you trying to pressure him into asking you to marry him, it should be clear that that's what he wants. And he's going to tell you, this is what I want. Okay, so after you're dating, maybe you're dating multiple men, you expect him to be dating multiple women. You're going out, you're getting to know each other, you're gathering information. Now you're going to say, I would like to be exclusive with this person. Now it gets more serious, but you're still not sleeping together, but you're to the exclusion of all others. So maybe you're planning days, day trips, or maybe the dates can get a little bit more expensive and extravagant. You can start going to more functions together. Maybe this is the point at which you want to start introducing him to friends and family, or her to friends and family. And, you know, um, arranged marriages are not forced marriages. Arranged marriages are supposed to be where people who know you try to set you up with somebody from the other side. So if you're a female, your female friends and family should be suggesting men that they know that you would be compatible with. And they're going to also help you to vet the men that you bring around, or vice versa. And it needs to be like this, because when you're caught up in the newness of that relationship, you're not going to see red flags. You're going to see them after the situation has gone bad. But your friends and family can notice and pick up on things. And I'm not saying let your friends and family sabotage your relationships, because I was dating a guy once and he was insecure. And, after we split, he's like, oh, this person didn't like you, that person didn't like you. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But I kind of look at you a bit funny, because you're letting their input influence the way you treat me, which makes me look at you a little bit like, not after what he said, before that, when he started to say and do certain funny little things, I was like, is this guy all right? Like, he's insecure, he's got like a lot of unresolved issues that he keeps bringing up. He's still got issues with his ex from like a year or two ago, and now you're telling me like you're letting all these females around you discourage you, and some of them, I personally think they have ulterior motives as well. So I was just like, I was kind of glad that I walked away, because I couldn't see a future. And when he came out and said that, I was like, yeah, I can't see a future with somebody who is not secure, because insecurity is a hell of a thing. If you're insecure, you need to get work. You need to work on yourself, and you need to get help to resolve those issues. And, again, it was like, he's a guy, but he was like, people used to pick on me because of the way I looked. People used to say I had, relatives, but this time it was actually a male relative. But I feel like he also had issues with women in his family who used to be disrespectful. And I think he was just beaten down by life. But carrying a person, especially in a new relationship, who's got an unstable mental state and going through a lot, is like, I'm a massive advocate for people have to work on themselves, because it's not fair on the person who is getting into a relationship with you, that they're expected to kind of be an advisor and a counselor and always a shoulder to cry. I mean, as you progress in the relationship, yes, but in the new early stages of the relationship, no. That's the first impression the person has of you. And if the first impression is you're needy or you're desperate or you're insecure or you're controlling or you're this or you're that, you're basically trying to build on a very broken foundation. So you want to be honest but not overshare. And if you are having issues, I would be like, I had these issues and I'm just doing this to work through them, and that's where I'm at the moment. So the person knows at least you're proactive in trying to get to be a better person. And so that's how it should be. So after the dating, you need to be exclusive. You're bringing them around your friends and family, and you're getting advice, vetting the person, watching them. This is why it has to be a slow process, because they say it takes 3 months for people to feel comfortable enough around you to show you who they really are. So if you're meeting on Monday and you're already in love by Wednesday and you're planning the wedding by Friday, by the time you've got committed, maybe you're sleeping together, you're already doing a lot of stuff like a couple that's been together for a long time. By the time that 90 days comes, they could be a completely different person. They didn't change. A lot of people say he changed. The person didn't necessarily change, but in the newness of the relationship, they're just putting their best foot forward. They're caught up in the lovey-dovey stage. They're caught up in the honeymoon phase, and they're just rolling with it. They're on the adrenaline and the high of being with somebody new. And once they kind of settle in, all of the things that they were originally excited to do, they're not necessarily doing them anymore. People just need to be aware that's how it goes. When you get into a new relationship, you're so excited. But you have to slow down. You have to pump the brakes, because until you get to know that person truly, you don't know who you're falling in love with. You're falling in love with an idea, which is infatuation. You're caught up. And some people say the honeymoon period can go on for like 6 months or more. So if you're rushing the relationship ahead, then you don't know who this person is. So after you become exclusive, then you're going to go to, I feel like this is the person I could build a life with. And it's during that exclusive period that you start talking about some of the more serious things, like what are your core values? I mean, that's what you're really gathering in the dating stage, to be fair. What are your core values? And first, before you can ask somebody what their core values are, you have to know what your core values are. And like I said, to me, what I would suggest to people do is maybe get a pen and paper and divide it into 3 categories. Like the first category is the things that just are not negotiable. You have to have these things. You know, I mean, and we're talking about the life-changing stuff. So kids are life-changing. Our parents maybe, because depending on your culture or how you live, parents are supposed to take care of children, but we're living in an aging population. People are living longer, but not necessarily with good health. How is it going to go with our parents? Do you want to get married? Some people don't believe in state-sanctioned marriage. I do. So, you know, is that, non-negotiable? Life-changing things. Where will we live? Are you traditional or are you liberal? I don't support liberal life because liberal life does not work. The reason why we have the problems we have is because we've gone too far in the direction of being liberal. But I believe in traditionalism more than I do being liberal. But obviously we live in a society where, it costs money to survive. So you may have to juggle working, or as a woman work part-time. Is the man ready to be a breadwinner? Where will we live? Are we going to downsize? Are we going to get rid of our properties? Da, 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 da. These are the kind of non-negotiable, really crucial things that you have to be on the same page about, because, they're going to be the things that will nag you every day if they're not right. Then you've got the things that I really would like, but it's not really a deal breaker. Like ideally I would like you to be a certain height, but if it's like this height, then it's fine. Ideally, I'd like you to have, this color eyes or this type of hair, but I can kind of compromise on that. And then there's the stuff that just really isn't important at all. Like, it's neither here nor there to me. Once you understand what you really need versus what you want, you're going to view people differently as you date them. Because it's like I did a video about, disdain for the broke dusty. But it's kind of like a scanning checklist. Like, oh, he's got this, 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 this. He looks like this, 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 this. What does the computer say? Oh, this is a fail. The printout comes out and it's like, wah, wah, wah. This is no good. Next, it has to be like that. You have to be more clinical and not just caught up in the emotion. I know we're not supposed to judge people by appearances, but sometimes you can just see from the way they operate that, no, come back in 5 years when you've got a belt around your waist and, a suit. That would help, kind of thing. So once you've got to the exclusive stage, yeah, you're still gathering more information. You're having those real serious conversations. You're talking about planning the future. And now you're courting. You're going into courting where it's just like, we're exclusive. We're talking about marriage. We're going, I'm looking at this person as husband and wife material potential. Like, I see myself spending my life with them, settling down and having a family with them. And once you get into courting, I mean, unless something happens that's really like off or something you didn't expect, then it's supposed to be tending towards marriage. That's how it should be, because people are falling at the first hurdle where they're making dating sex, or they're making dating extravagant, or they're making dating equal to a relationship. And there needs to be a clear distinction between the stages. If there's no clear distinction with expectations and limitations, people end up overinvesting, and that's how they end up getting hurt. A woman shouldn't be expecting money, car notes paid, rent paid. She shouldn't be saying, you need to buy me diamonds or jewelry. I'm really sorry, ladies. If you're doing that, you're messing up the game. And gents, don't be out here trying to buy love with these extravagant gifts either, because you're only going to attract gold diggers. If you put out some raw meat, you're going to get dogs and flies. It is what it is. If you put out all of this, I'm leading with my money, I'm leading with my wallet, obviously you're going to get chicks who just see you as a trick, man. Like, why is that hard for dudes to understand? A man who is a decent man, he wants to know that he can take care of you financially. So if you're saying, oh, he needs to take me to the most expensive restaurant, that guy's looking at you like, this chick is too high maintenance. Like, I'll have to get another job just to keep her in the things that she wants. And there's a man out there who can afford that, and that's fine. But with the man who has high money, he has high options. And with the man who has high money, he also has like this mentality like, I can replace you in 5 minutes. I mean, I don't know how to say it, because there's nothing wrong with that. A high value man is going to have options. It just is what it is. But nobody wants to be exploited. Nobody wants to be in a relationship with someone who they feel like is only there for what they can get out of you, not actually for loving you for who you are. Even a wealthy man, I'm sure, doesn't like the feeling of this person's only here because I've got a lot of money. So it's important that you show the man that you're not just about the superficial things. You actually want to know what his character is like. You are willing to take a man with a lower income if he's a decent brother. You know, it's not just about showing him that you're not high maintenance and overly demanding and greedy. It's actually about putting him on the spot. Because what some people do, male and female, is they love bomb. They what's the word I'm thinking? Like, they bombard you with loving gestures, flowers, chocolates, gifts, extra. They're trying to get you spinning around in a daze so you don't see the red flags. Oh my gosh, he took me here, he did it, I've never been treated like this, I've never experienced this before. And the person is basically winding you up. They're spinning you around. You know, it's like, we've all been on those kind of merry-go-round things. Or you've been playing some of these games where, like, you close your eyes and everyone spins you around, and then you've got to try and walk in a straight line or something. You have stopped physically spinning, but your head is still going round. When they're trying to give you these gestures or say certain things or do certain things, they are trying to, I don't want to say manipulate, but it is a type of manipulation to get you so invested quickly that you don't see the red flags. So it's important to say, I don't want your extravagant gestures. I want to know who you are as a person. And again, like I said before people were told, women were told, get a man who's got a good car, because back in the day, a good car was indicative of a man who had a good job. He had the potential to be a provider. He had a high powered position or something. He was a respectable individual. Now people do all kind of things to get money just to stunt on each other and show off to women. But you need to pull back and say, I don't want your gestures. I want to know who you are and what you're about. Because people change and we're all going to age. Looks are going to fade. But who that person is as a person is always going to remain. So you need to be compatible on that level, because his money can always go up. His money can always go down. His health can change. Her health can change. Looks will definitely fade for everybody. But what their character is like is going to be pretty consistent. So if you allow yourself to be beguiled by all of these trinkets, you are going to be taken for a fall. Especially by a man who's got money. And this is not me throwing men with money under the bus. But for a man who's wealthy, to give a chick $100 purse or something, or take her to a restaurant and drop a few hundreds on dinner, is nothing. To be able to say he bought your pussy for friggin' £300 is it's nothing to him. It's a game. It's sport. You feel like, wow, I got a nice meal and I got a little bag or something. He's just like, yeah, I've just got another notch on the bedpost. You know, it is what it is. So we need to change the way we view dating. Stop looking at dating as sex. Dating is not sexual acts. Dating is simply gathering information about the person that you're speaking to. You're having fun. You're keeping it light. You're keeping it cheap. And you're getting to know whether you want to be exclusive. That's it. That's what dating is for. And if you are dating multiple people but you're not sleeping with any of them, you are genuinely looking to see, who can I commit to and be exclusive with, then I have no issue with people dating multiple people. Once people are sleeping with different people, then that's different. Because, I mean, anyway, if you're not sleeping with the person, you have nothing to worry about. So I would say, keep yourself to yourself. But if you say, I'm exclusive and I believe in monogamy, because that's another deal breaker these days, then that's it. We're exclusive. Then we move to, you know, I'm exclusively dating you. We're still gathering information about each other. And now I can see I would like to be committed to you. We're courting, we're tending towards marriage. We're talking about the real serious stuff, like where we're going to live, the bills, the mortgage, our cost of living. Like, you're literally breaking it down because it's a merger. It's not Sleepless in Seattle, Love Actually, skipping down the boulevards, with roses and flowers. Every day is Valentine's Day. It's the merging of two lives. And you have to sit down and look at the figures, look at the numbers, make a plan and talk about where we're going. And then afterwards you set the date and that's it. So that's all I have for this one. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Does dating in the 21st century need an overhaul? Do black people need to approach love and dating differently? Let me know your suggestions. Did you find love? Did you let the right one get away? Were you the right one that got away? If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you didn't, well, you know where the thumbs down button is. Thanks so much for liking, sharing and subscribing, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.